Good morning, Standard 4th, Subject EVS Part 2, Lesson number 17, Management of Forts and the Navy. Lesson number 17, Management of the Forts and the Navy. Shivaji Maharaj conquered many enemies to establish his Swaraj, be it war or governors. His management skill can be seen in all areas. Let us learn about the management skill of Shivaji Maharaj in this lesson. The management skill of Shivaji Maharaj are seen at all times in the battles he fought all his life and also in his overall administration. Let's look at a few examples. Building forts. Shivaji Maharaj protected his Swaraj with the help of forts. In the book Ajnapatra or Royal Edicts, the importance of the forts has been aptly summed up as follows. The essence of the whole kingdom is the forts. Shivaji Maharaj had roamed through the Sahyadri range in his youth. On the countless occasions he had gazed at the forts stated in the Sahyadri, he had understood the importance of the forts in the protection of Swaraj. Shivaji Maharaj built all three types of forts, forest forts, hill forts, and sea forts. A sea fort is also known as Janjira. He employed experts like Hiroji Indulkar and Arjoji Yadav to build many new forts like Rajgarh, Pratapgarh and Sindhudurga. He repaired some old forts like Vijayadurga, Torna and Rangna and built the new fort of Raigad. He had about 300 forts. The war strategy of Shivaji Maharaj greatly depended on hill forts. With the help of forts, Shivaji Maharaj protected his Swaraj. In the book Ajnapatra or Royal Edicts, the importance of forts has been aptly summed up as follows. Shivaji Maharaj had roamed through the Sahyadri range in his youth. On the countless occasions he had gazed at the forts situated in the Sahyadri. He had understood the importance of force in the protection of Swaraj. Shivaji Maharaj was at three types of forts: forest forts, hill forts, and sea forts. Sea forts is known as Janjira. He employed expert person on the force. He built many forts like Rajgarh, Pratapgarh, and Sindhudurga. He repaired some old forts like Vijayadurga, Torna, and Rangna and built a new forts at Raigad. He had about 300 forts. Management of forts. Shivaji Maharaj had made definite arrangement for the protection of forts. On each fort, the officer, Killedar, Sabnis, and Karkhanis were appointed. The Sabnis and Karkhanis work under the Killedar. Their work is shown in the chart below. Killedar to protect and administrate the fort, to issue order to the Sabnis and Karkhanis, the follow government orders and instruction and letters. Sabnis to keep account, record income and expense of the fort, to collect revenue tax from the subjects on the fort and around it, to handle the correspondence Karkhanis, supply grains and goods to the people living on fort, to arrange for the ammunition of the guns and firearms at the time of war, to look after and maintain the fort and the buildings on it. Shivaji Maharaj appointed the officer on each fort like Killedar, Sabnis and Karkhanis. The Sabnis and Karkhanis works under the Killedar. Their work is shown. Killedar protect the administration of fort. He also issue orders to Sabnis and Karkhanis. He also follows government orders, instruction and letters. Sabnis keep accounts and expense on the fort. He also collect revenue tax from the subject on the fort and around it. He handle the correspondence. Karkhanis supply grains and goods to the people living on the fort. He look after the maintenance the fort and the buildings on the fort. Guns and ammunition. At the time of Shivaji Maharaj, guns of various sizes were used to protect the forts from the enemy. The guns were placed on the bastions and fortification of the fort. Some forts like Purandar and Bhimgarh had provisions for making guns. Guns were made from metal like iron, brass, copper, etc. In the rainy season, the guns were given a wax coating to prevent rusting. Iron and stone cannonballs and canister shots were fired at the enemy from the guns. To fire the shots, an explosive mixture was used. Shivaji Maharaj used various size guns used to protect the forts from enemy. The guns were placed on the bastions and fortification of the fort. Purandar and Bhimgarh had provision for making guns. Guns were made from metal like iron, brass, copper, etc. In rainy season, the guns were given a wax coating. Why? Because preventing rusting. The Navy. The Navy consists of workships. The English, the Portuguese, the Siddhis and the Dutch had a strong naval force. Some of these people used to plunder the village on the sea coast and tortured the villagers. Shivaji Maharaj created an independent navy to permanently subdue these enemies on the sea. Shivaji Maharaj raised several dockyards to build ships of various sizes. He gained control over old sea forts by winning them in battles. He revered sea forts like Suvarnadurga and Vijayadurga. He built a new sea fort called Sindhudurga on the Cut island near Malvan. He also built the fort of Khanderi near Mumbai. The Swaraj Navy included people belonging to various sea-faring communities like Koli, Bhandari, Agri, Daulat Khan Mayank, Bhandari, Lai Patil, Tukoji Agri were some of the great men of his period, skilled in naval warfare. Because of the Maratha Navy, the English, the Portuguese, the Siddhi and the Dutch, who were the enemies of the Maratha, began to fear and respect them. Their nuisance to Swaraj was reduced. By raising an independent and strong navy, Shivaji Maharaj defined his territorial water and established domination over the coastal area. He safeguarded his sea coast. This navy was the first of its kind in medieval India. That is why he is rightly regarded as the father of the Indian Navy. English, the Portuguese, the Siddhi and the Dutch had a strong naval force. So, Shivaji Maharaj, aware of the danger to Swaraj from the Siddhi, Portuguese and English. To defend the Swaraj against these enemies, Shivaji Maharaj built a strong navy. Shivaji Maharaj created an independent navy. He also repaired sea forts like Suvarnadurga and Vijayadurga. He also built a new sea fort called Sindhudurga. The intention behind Shivaji Maharaj appointing men of different communities to guard the forts were kept everybody alert, mutual checks among the officers, and no one could destroy the defense from within. Daulat Khan, Mayank Bhandari, Lai Patil, Tukoji Angre were some of the great men of his period skilled in the naval warfare. Because of Maratha Navy, the English, the Portuguese and Siddhi and Dutch, who were enemy of the Marathas, began to fear the respect them. Shivaji Maharaj, known as a father of the Indian Navy. Intelligence Department. There was a well organized and very efficient system of army intelligence and espionage. Bahirji Naik was the chief of this branch. The accurate information that he obtained helped greatly in making the campaigns like the Surat campaign successfully. Shivaji spies found out detailed information about the enemy camp. Shivaji Maharaj started to offensive unless he had gathered information from his spies. That is how he planned his campaign. Guerrilla tactics. In the defense strategy of Shivaji Maharaj, guerrilla tactics were especially important. Guerrilla tactics included sudden and unexpected attacks on the enemy at the strategic place and time. The guerrilla army attacks the enemy and without giving them time to recover reaches a safe destination. Shivaji Maharaj was helped by the dense forts and hill forts in the Sahyadris and the support of his subject in this guerrilla warfare. The war strategy adopted and perfected by Shivaji Maharaj is known as guerrilla warfare. It consists of keeping oneself informed about the enemy movements beforehand and organizing surprise raids on them. The swift movement of the soldiers were the key to the success of guerrilla tactics. Guerrilla army attacks the enemy and without giving them time to recover, reach a safe place. Shivaji Maharaj was helped by dense forts and hill forts in the Sahyadri and supported of this subject in his guerrilla warfare.